Hello, good morning. I wanted to offer a bit of a follow-up on my Necromancer. I'm still working on him. This is season 13 of Project Diablo 2, and we're at end of week 5 of ladder now, May 30th at the time of this recording. Um, Still working on him. He's at 1.1 million kills right now, level 97.85. Still plan to go to 99. It is kind of dragging on. Doing what's mostly solo, a little bit of grouping. But the main update I have today is I have respec'd him to a new build. So I'd been doing the Mage Revive Summoner with a bunch of rep life, and I just started to get bored of it after all these kills. It was a lot of time. Uh, let's just do it. Yeah, close to 200 hours of time. Started to get a little tired of running the same build over and over again. So I've been crafting a bunch of wands, chasing something that I could do for Poison Nova, and I ended up with this one that had three to skills, so six corpse explosion, one to all skills from the craft mod, two to necro from the affix roll, three to corpse explosion from the auto mod. And it also rolled with mana after each kill, and then slam for life after each kill, and puzzled for two sockets. So I decided to build corpse explosion around this wand, basically. And needed a change of pace anyway, so it's been quite fun. So I'll go over the skills, gear, stats, mercenary, and then do a little showcase. But the build for corpse explosion, it was slightly nerfed this season. The only note in the patch notes was that the radius was reduced by about 12%, which I think equates to like a yard, maybe a yard and a half. It's in that space where somebody just looking and kind of thumbs up, thumbs down of whether builds got better or worse from season or over season might not even give it a try because they would assume, oh, it's worse, forget it, not even gonna try it. On the PD2 tools, I think it's something like 2% of necromancers are using corpse explosion right now, so it's a pretty uncommon build for this season. I think probably because of the nerf, but functionally, I think it's still fine. It feels just as good as previous seasons that I've done it for sure. The build is pretty simple. It's an 80-point build, so the main skill plus three synergies, um, amplify damage, desecrate, and revive. The build is cool in that it similar to like doing an elemental fire druid, it's a combination of physical and fire damage, which helps not have to deal with immunities as much. Of course, it's going to perform best in maps that have neither physical nor fire immunes. But max corpse explosion, max the four synergies, or I'm sorry, the three synergies, because you have max revive and a fully synergized revive, because desecrate is also a synergy for revive. It makes sense to get your 8 monsters as well. You can do I like the where are they? The big guys, the blunderboars. Oh, sorry, I should have rehearsed before this. There we go. I like to get the blunderboars. They have crushing blow. They're big tanky, especially if you're going to kill map bosses. Something like this is really good. The moon lords that use frenzy are good too. But something big tanky, you're just using them mostly as defense for yourself, not because they're a critical source of your damage output. You're casting so quickly that you're blowing stuff up before they would have a chance to kill them most of the time anyway. But um, the yeah, that's the build. And then with the remaining points after the uh, skill and synergies are maxed, you want a single point in bone armor. Um, I am set up similar to how I did with my summoner build earlier in the season. I've got 5 hard points into golem mastery, so I could run one blood golem and one iron golem to get an additional aura, which I'll explain in a second. And then the Blood Warp is actually slightly overskilled right now. Do I have the wrong? I don't know why I'm up a skill right now from where I expect it to be, but the sweet spot would be exactly 30 after you're boosted with your battle orders for Blood Warp, because you are going to run, or at least I'm running 125 faster cast rate, and that's when I think it makes sense to go to 30 instead of 29. So this is likely overskilled by 1 point. Um, so those are the skills. The stats are pretty simple. Strength for gear, and then literally every other point into energy to synergize with the bone armor. His bone armor has over 1700 absorb, which is pretty significant. And it 3 absorb per point of energy from a pure like physical damage safety perspective. That is a much better investment than vitality for a necromancer. And then you just want as much like plus life on gear, and I've got not ideal charms and stuff for this because it was a mid-season switch after getting a bunch of 30 35 life skillers on the summoning build. I now need to slowly piece them together with the poison and bone too. um, I showed the wand already. That it's kind of the featured item. It's got 2/5/5 facets in it. Other items, this necro circlet, 2/25 with life and mana, physical damage reduction. Also put 5/5 fire facets. Doing this late in season instead of at the beginning. Facets are ridiculously expensive, but working on it. This amulet, don't have an option to desecrate until I get something comparable to this. Faster cast rate, life after each kill, some all resistance on there. Um, I got this crafted head with 5 to corpse explosion, 3 sockets that have runes to get those resistances, half freeze duration. So this is the brilliant craft with an ort rune and a diamond. The boots are also a brilliant craft for faster run walk, half freeze, resistances, magic fine, and these 2 items together create the cannot be frozen effect. The gloves are extra faster cast rate mage fist, so we've got 12 on the wand, 30 on the gloves, 20 on the circlet, 10 on the amulet. I've still got this BK with faster cast rate, and then we've got Narak with for the final 10 faster cast rate. All that together adds up to I think 98, considering, or I guess 92, and then this one charm gets it to 98, so that with the Ormus robe to add the additional 30, gets over the 125 breakpoint. The Ormus, I know it's disgusting to have unmatched facets and imperfect ones at that. This is a 15% base 3 socket Ormus robe with 3 facets that are all +4, -5. So it's got the maximum pierce. It is short of the theoretical possible +30 fire skill. I will eventually replace them with 5/5s that all match each other. I know it's gross. Um, it, Sorry, that's kind of an inside joke. People love their matching facets. I'm definitely one of those people too. I've got a Wisp projector that I found myself. I think the Mana Steel actually probably would be worth something if I sold it, but I'm using it myself right now. I just haven't really thought about trading as much the last couple weeks. Um, and then the charms. I mentioned the one that's faster cast rate. We've got. So this is why the summoning skill. That's what the issue was. That's why I was over 30. There we go. This should be a Geed. Okay. We've got an Annie with experience still chasing 99, a bunch of basic poison and bone skillers, low life, mid life, and then balancing charm, resistances, magic find, some life and mana, even. Still some improvement there. I just kind of threw together what I had. I mentioned having poison golem mastery, so we could have an iron golem as well. either of these items works really well for the Iron Golem. This Zweihander or the Jid Slayer Adagan build. Both of them have the level 6 resist fire aura, which is the equivalent to having a perfect flickering flame on the mercenary. It adds 10 to the mastery. So if we look at the advanced stats right now, I'm at 52% elemental mastery. When we cast this and then go outside of town and the aura activates, it's now up to 62. So more damage, and then of course it also boosts fire resistance too. It's at 148. So it could give up fire res somewhere in the build if you needed to. A little closer look at the advanced stats. Resistances are capped. The wand has fire res on it, and the Necrohead has base lightning resist on it, so that's why those two are stacked more. The I should probably have boots that have poison and cold prioritized. It would be nice to get to a point between min-maxing charms a little better and having a different half-freeze pair of boots. It'd be nice to get to a point where I could squeeze at least one, if not two more facets out of this, but not a huge priority right now. The damage is very, very good. The max fast cast rate breakpoint, I think, is really what makes the build feel fun. I did 75 for a little while, and it just didn't feel as good. Hit recovery, less important. You don't get hit a ton. After having spent the first part of the season running like a high defense kind of safety oriented survival build, this one's really more offensive. 8 and 8 on the LPK, MPK. I think that's about right. More is always better, but I don't know. I think it's kind of at the sweet spot, and still a decent amount of base magic. Fine, not as much as the summoner build, of course, but definitely gets the job done. The mercenary is super basic. It's just an Act 2 infinity threw together. He's wearing the innocence, even though he's not doing procking now. The two all skills still boosts his defiance aura. Through a Sage's Defiance with a couple of mid-tier all-res jewels for some survival. He's got Marowaks with physical damage reduction. He's got a String of Ears. He's got just a laying of hands that I found along the way. Enough for really high PDR, so he doesn't die much. His resistances are capped. Plenty of room there. Could get a ferocity on him would be probably a good idea at some point too. But again, with this being kind of the second build, and at this point just trying to kind of make progress, it's less of a complete version. So that's the build. We'll do a map tier 3 with the maxed out rarity, kind of mediocre density. This build performs better when the density is as high as it can possibly be, but this is the one that we'll run, and we'll do it. And with these ones, I typically just jump right in, and I'll revive the lords as they come. You basically just cast Desecrate to create your first corpse, and then spam Explode. And if anybody took some sort of posture about this build being nerfed and unplayable, I would argue they are wrong, because it works pretty great. It's a little note. You could cast amplified damage to boost the physical component of it. Sometimes they do it on the big mobs like that, but generally it's probably a waste of a button press or click when you've got this much damage. The damage is quite good. 8.6 to 11k, and that's adding the two different damage types together. It does more fire than physical because of the facets. Nice. The revives definitely help with the bosses like this. Bosses are not great, sometimes I skip them. Um, but overall, pretty fun build. Efficient mapper, solo, gets the job done. See, we got a couple of goodies in that map. The facet is a 4/4 fire, +4 on the IK armor, and 81 ED on the raid skin. So cool. That is it for Corpse Explosion. Thank you.